everybody, and welcome to today's iStore Meets session. My name is Demi, and I am going to be bringing this incredible session on how to create digital organizers with Keynote to you today. So this is an iStore Meet session. It is in partnership with Think Ahead. Now, Think Ahead works in partnership with schools to support them in their 21st century teaching and learning journey. We help school practitioners design and implement the best possible education experiences for their teachers and students in the most cost-effective, sustainable, and accessible way possible. I'd just like to take a few moments before we begin to show you what we are all about. That's just a little bit about us. I will share up our website as well as our contact details at the end of today's session. I'll also share with you some exciting upcoming sessions at the end, as well as some amazing iPad offers that Think Ahead does have going on currently. Okay, so onto today's session. I would love for you to engage with me, chat with me in the chat box, say hi, tell me where you're joining me from. If you're at a school, share with me which school you're from. You can also share more around today's session using the hashtag iStoreMeets and stand a chance to win a 1,500 Rand iStore gift card. And all just for sharing about the session. And then lastly, for any of you interested in becoming a host or hosting your very own iStore Meet session, you can contact our team to find out more about how to do this. And that email address is on screen for you. Okay, again, use the chat box, use the Q&A box. If you have any questions throughout the session, just pop them in there. I'll slow down or repeat something if needed. And let's get started. So digital organizers are such an amazing tool. Very slowly, we're all moving away from the pen and the paper. We have our iPads with us every day. We take them where we go. So why not incorporate our digital planning using our iPad? And Keynote is such an incredible app for you to use to be able to create these digital planners. Now, today I'm going to take you through, we're going to look at Keynote. For those of you who haven't used it before, we're going to take it slowly. We're going to go through Keynote. I'm going to show you how to plan an outline for these digital planners that you can then go and adjust and add in. I'll also share some examples of how you can make this planner specific to what you need. One of the biggest things that I found with looking for planners, even if it is the paper planners, is that you don't always get exactly what you're looking for. With Keynote, you can make exactly what it is that you need. Okay, so I am going to hop out of this presentation very quickly. And then I'm going to hop back into Keynote, but we are going to be making a new Keynote from scratch. If you've got your iPad in front of you, follow along with me. You can do the exact same thing using your MacBook if you do have a MacBook. Where things are going to be spaced and placed a bit differently on a Mac compared to an iPad, but it's very doable on both devices. So I'm going to open up Keynote. That's the icon at the bottom of my screen. It's the blue one with the little presentation podium. And first thing I get when I open up Keynote is, where do I want to actually save this? Where do I want to create this new document? So you can see on the left-hand side, I've got recent, I've got shared docs, I've got iCloud on my iPad, and so on. If you have things like Google Drive or Dropbox, you will find those things up there. I'm just going to create it on my iCloud drive. I'm going to go to the top right-hand corner, and I'm going to click on the blue plus sign. When I click on the blue plus sign, it's going to ask me if I want to choose a theme or if I just want to start an outline. So I'm going to go to choose a theme. And here I get taken to Keynote's numerous themes that just give a fun flair to anything that you are creating. Because we're starting with the digital planner, I'm going to start off with the blank one. So I'm just going to use one of the classic themes, and that is going to open up this presentation for me. So just a couple of things for anybody new to using Keynote, so that you know what's in front of you, what you are seeing here. Going from left to right, you've got on the left-hand side a panel, and that panel is all the slides that you are going to be putting together. Remember, Keynote is a presentation app, but it's so much more than that. So here you'll see each individual slide or page that you would be adding in. Above that, you've got presentations. That's going to take you back out to all your files. You've then got a little box, and that box just gives you a bit of different options. How do you want to view? How do you want to view what's in front of you? With digital planners, it's best to keep it just on a slide view so that you can see exactly what it is that you're working with. Next to that, you've got a bit of a grayed out button. That's going to be an undo button as soon as you start doing things. In the middle, you've got a name. Mine says presentation 2. I'm going to tap on that, and here I get the option to rename it. So I can call this my digital planner. Okay, so that's how we can rename it and just save it so that we know what we're looking for later on. Moving on, you've got that little play button. That's to play this presentation. We're not going to make use of that today. You do have the paintbrush, which we are going to use very often today. And the paintbrush essentially edits any elements that you put onto your page. Now, the really nice thing about it is, depending on what you've selected on your page or on your slide, that little paintbrush will customize it so you get different options based on what you add in. So if you add in text, it will give you the option to change the text or make it bigger. If you add in shapes, it will give you the option to change the style and how that looks. You've then got the plus sign, which we're going to use a lot of as well. We're going to be adding in, so plus is to add in all the objects or any media that we're going to add in. You have a few other buttons. You've got a collaborate button, which we're not going to look too much into, and then the 3 dots, which is a couple of extra options, extra settings. We're going to show you how you can export your digital planner and then use it in books or use it in any of the other apps that you have on your device. Lastly, you've got the little page with the little eye. That button is essentially just to close up editing. So as soon as you tap on that button, you'll see those texts disappear and nothing on my page becomes editable. It gets replaced by the edit button, and there you can see I can now edit things again. So that's your general layout. Big page in the middle is your slide. That's what we are going to be working with today. So first thing when we start creating digital planners is we're going to be using a lot of these pages. A lot of what we put onto a slide, we're going to repeat and we're going to use it quite often. So because we're going to be doing it so often, it's best to have it created once and save it so that I don't have to duplicate and keep on creating. Now, to do this, we use what we call the master slides. Now, every presentation has a few different master slides. If I go to my left-hand panel right at the bottom, I've got a plus sign there. And if I tap on that plus sign, you will see these are all the different master slides that I can add. So they've got like a title or a title and a photo. And just depending on what it is you're doing, you can make use of one of these master slides to help with like the layout and the orientation of things. Now, these master slides are also completely editable. That means I can go and I can change it and make it exactly what I want it to be. And that's what we're going to do today. We're going to edit our master slides and essentially create a couple of master slides that we can then just use throughout this presentation. So I'm going to tap, the first thing I'm going to do is anywhere out of my page. So anywhere around that page, in the areas behind the page, I'm going to just tap on it once, and you're going to see I'm going to get these this little pop-up menu that says select all, comment, or edit master slide. I'm now going to tap on edit master slides, and you will see all those slides that I saw previously is going to be on my left-hand side, and I now get this opportunity to edit it. You'll be able to see as well right at the top, we have a big blue, like a banner that says edit master slide title. Now I can go and I can rename these slides as well if I choose to do so. I'm not too interested in the names of the slides. All I'm interested in doing is changing it up and adding what I need to add into it. So first thing I'm going to do is I am going to look at adding in the basic of my planner. So essentially these really nice planners, once it's an opened planner, it would have the cover behind. So you'd see this nice creative color, and then you see the page that you're working on. And really cool about today's session, what we're going to look at and what we're going to focus on a lot is creating these planners with these turnable tabs. Now, for me, that's one of the greatest things about planners is I can have different tabs on one side. And when I flip the tab over, when I open it up and I turn the page over, all the tabs move to the other side. So the tabs that come before would move to the other side, and the tabs left would be on the right-hand side. And that's the nice thing about planners, that I can shift it and I can move it like that. So that's what we're going to look at today when we creating our planners, is how can I have these turnable tabs, and how can I make it sure that if I tap on one of those tabs, it's going to actually turn to that page. Okay, so I hope you're all good. I hope you're carrying on. Hi, Liesel, I see you've joined us from King David. It's good to have you here. Remember, just pop any questions you have in that chat for me. Okay, so first thing that I'm going to do is I want to remove everything from the slide because I don't want the slide anymore. I'm going to make my own. Now, if you are using the latest version of Keynote on your iPad, it came with a really cool update on how we can select multiple things on a slide. And all I'm going to do is I'm going to tap down and hold with one finger. So I'm just tapping down and holding, and then you'll see a little square like flashed. And now I'm going to drag my finger across every single thing that I see on that page. And as I drag it, you see it selects it. So that's how I can select everything. If you're working on an older version of Keynote, you can select multiple things by tapping on one thing first, and then holding that one thing down with one finger, and then selecting the other things, the other objects, the different things. So that's the two ways that you can use to select different elements on your page. And as soon as I let go, I get these three options. I'm going to click on delete and get rid of that. Okay, so first thing I'm going to do is I want to create a background. I want to create that almost cover feel. So I'm going to tap on the plus sign. I am going to go to the the third tab right at the top. It's got a little circle and square, and that's going to be to add in shapes. So this is what we're going to work with mostly today. I'm now going to use the shape that's got the rounded, the square that's got the rounded edges, and you're going to see it just drops it in there for me. Now, moving it around, I'm going to tap on the shape and drag it. So I want this to essentially cover my entire page. And then I'm going to, using one of the blue dots, so I've used the corner blue dot, I'm going to basically resize it. Now, another fantastic thing about Keynote is as you resize objects, you see those little yellow grid lines that, or those guidelines that help you a little bit. And that tells you that it's perfectly aligned to horizontally, and it's perfectly aligned vertically. So that's, I'm going to drop it there to say that that's how I want it. Now, remember, there's so many different things that you can actually do. You can choose a different shape. You can choose how to edit this. I'm going to edit this and change the color up. So I'm going to tap on my paintbrush. I'm going to pick a different color. I'm just going to go for that standard blue that's there. You can also, where it says fill, tap on that little arrow, and here you get a lot more different colors available to you. So you can see you've got preset colors, you've got gradients, or you've got images. I'm just going to keep it like that for now. I can also go in and add in a border if I wanted to. I'm not going to do that right now. And to get those nice effects, to get it looking like an authentic book, I can add in a bit of a shadow. I can choose the different types of shadows you can see from there. So I'm just going to choose that shadow. I'm going to go, let's go with that one. Okay. And there you can see it gives it that little bit of a really cool effect there. Okay, once I've got the cover, essentially, I'm going to go in and add a page. So I'm going to click on the plus sign. I'm going to add in just a normal block now. So one with the sharp edges, not the rounded edges. Again, I'm going to, using the blue dot, drag it until I'm quite happy with the size of it. I think that's fine. And because it's a page, I'm going to change the color to a white page. So I'm going to tap on the paintbrush, tap on fill, and choose, that's a bit more of a gray color. So I'm going to just look for, I'm going to go to color and pick white. Oh, that actually is white. Okay, cool. Now, because I'm adding in these little bit of turnable tabs, the idea behind the tabs is that it would sit behind, or it would sit between two pages. So to get that effect in Keynote, what I'm going to do is I am going to take this page that I have created, and I am going to duplicate it. I'm going to copy it and I'm going to paste it again, so that I essentially have one page sitting on top of another page. Now, I'm going to create this so that I can basically slot these turnable tabs in between the two pages, and that I can see it working in that way. So all I'm going to do is I've selected that page that I've added in. I'm going to tap on copy. I'm going to tap anywhere on my page again, anywhere on the thing, and I'm going to tap on paste. And you'll see there it added it in a bit differently. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to try and place it directly on top of the other one. Now, because it's directly on top of it, you're not going to see it too well. So I'm going to just adjust the size a little bit by bringing in the right and the left side. So the top and the bottom, I'm quite happy if they match up. I'm going to bring in a little bit the left and the right side. So that means I'm going to use the dots in the middle of the left and right side of the page. Okay. So I'm going to bring it in just a little bit, and you can see mine, it's showing a little bit at the top that it's not perfectly even. So that's how I'm telling it how much I'm going to do. And then using my guideline again, I'm going to see when my page is perfectly centered, and I'm going to do that. Okay. So that's the first step, though. That's the first couple of steps. Because I want to be able to see this page, I'm just going to edit this shape and add in a bit of a shadow. So the minute I add in a shadow, let's go that shadow. I like that shadow. you'll see it gives it that bit of, it gives it a bit of that page feel. So I can see now it's looking more and more and more as like a page. Okay, because again, a planner, I've opened it up. It's imagining a book that's opening up. I'm going to add a line going down the middle of this so that I can see the two separate pages. So I'm going to click on the plus. I'm going to click on the straight line, and I'm going to make sure that I add it in. I love my grid lines because that's going to help me make sure that it is perfectly centered. I can see my shape is not very straight because as I'm adding it, it's telling me it's got an 89-degree angle and then a 90 and a more 89. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to shift it a little bit. And there we go. I've got a perfectly straight line 90. And then I'm going to bring that line back into the center. So as soon as it hits the center, it's going to snap into place. We gotta love grid lines. Okay, so I'm going to just make that a little bit thicker. I'm going to add a little bit of an effect. Now I'd like you to see here how, because it is a different shape, I'm using a line, I've gotten different options as compared to when I created the shapes. So all I'm going to do is make this line just a little bit thicker so that it looks a bit nicer for me. And this is all preference. So you can go ahead and add in as thick a line as you'd like. You can really adjust as you'd need to. Okay, I hope you all are doing okay and are following along with me. Nick, thank you. I see you enjoying the session. Remember, just pop in anything if you need me to go over it again, or if I've gone past something too quickly, just pop it there and I'll help you recap a little bit. Okay. Now, once I've done this part of it, I can see that that's going to be my overall book. That's what it's going to look like. I now want to add in my turnable tabs. I want to create these tabs so that I can add it in and then make sure that it can flip over. And that's going to be one of the last things we do, is linking everything together. Now, to create these tabs, you've got to plan a little bit before you digitally plan. And here you've got to decide, how do you want your planner to look? Do you want it to be weeks? So you say week 1, week 2, week 3, week 4. Do you want it to be months? It's up to you. Today, I am just going to use sections. I'm going to call it section 1 to 5, and that's how I'm going to plan that. But based on how many tabs you'd like, that's how you're going to think of, how am I going to actually position these? And I'll show you some ideas at the end of today's session on how you can actually have tabs that are at the top of the page, as well as going down on the right-hand side, so that when you turn them, it turns to the top and then to the left-hand side again. So planning is crucial on this one. Like I said, I'm just going to do 5 tabs today and create 5 different sections. And you can decide how you'd like your tabs to look. So to create my tabs, I'm going to tap on the plus sign. I am going to add in the shape again, the one with the square with the rounded edges. I think they just look really nice. So that's the one I'm going to go for. And then I'm going to position it just here at the top. So I want it to basically hang over the blue part, the blue shape, and that's because that's the cover of my book. So I want it to be outside the page, but inside the cover. Now, here you can adjust again, depending on how many tabs you're having. You might want to make them a little bit smaller. I've kept them quite thick because I'm only going to make a few of them. I can actually make that a little bit bigger if I wanted to. So just using the dots, you can make those tabs a different size. I'm now going to go and tap on the edit button, so the paintbrush, and I'm going to change the color because I'd like it to match a little bit and look a little bit nice. So I'm going to go to color, and I'm going to use this like soft purplish. I just like it. You can pick a color that you'd like. Now, before I leave this, before I go back, I'm just going to leave this to show you, but you can stay right there where you're at. I now have my 2 pages, and this tab on top of it. And that's not what I wanted. I want this tab essentially to be between the two pages. That's why I created a double page. To do this, when you are in, so just make sure your shape is selected. You were in the color and you picked your color. You're going to tap on the word style in the top left-hand corner. So you're going to tap on style and go back one. Here I'm going to go right to the top and I'm going to choose the tab at the top that says arrange. So I'm going to tap on arrange, and here I see I can move this backwards or I can move it forward. Now, each of those little lines that you see on that slider represents an object that's on your page. So I've got my line down the middle, I've got 2 pages, and I've got the background cover. That's 4 different objects, and each of those objects is represented by a line. So I'm just going to slide my slider down one object, and I'm going to see what that does. And I'm going to go in and I see, okay, it didn't actually move behind anything. That was most probably the line. It's moving now behind the line. So I'm going to go back. I'm going to shift it a little bit further back. And now you can see it's shifted perfectly. It is behind the first page. It is in front of that bottom page and in front of the background cover that I've created. Okay. So that I've got one tab going. Instead of adding in a shape and a shape and a shape, I'm just going to, because I've already set these properties, because I've already made sure that it's behind the correct page, I'm going to click on that little tab. I'm going to click on copy, and I'm going to click somewhere down and click on paste. So it's going to paste all these things for me. And now all I'm going to do is I'm going to copy and paste this. I can just paste it a couple of times and lay them down as I need them. Okay, so there's my 4th one, and paste. Okay, so I can see mine went a little bit over. You can adjust that size. That's going to be your precise work. I'm going to again select all of these. So I've tapped on one with one finger, I've tapped on all others with the other finger, and now I'm going to edit and arrange it and just make sure it goes back. So I know it's pretty much like halfway through, it's got to go back. I think I went a bit too far on that one, so I'm going to just select all of them and bring it forward a bit. Oopsie, I selected the wrong thing. Okay, lucky for my undo button. So just make sure that you only selecting the tabs. I'm just going to redo that from the start. There we go. Perfect. So here we go. It is now behind the first page, not behind the second page. And I've got all these tabs created. Okay. From here, what I'm going to do is I am going to leave this page exactly as it is. I now want to, because this is going to be like one of the pages in my planner, this is essentially where you would have like a bit of a cover page going. Now, the minute I turn this page over, the minute I have I turn the tab over, it's going to appear on the left-hand side, and then I'm going to be able to write everything for that section. So how I'm going to do that is I'm going to tap on this title slide, and that's going to be on my left-hand side. And I am going to click on the word duplicate. So again, I'm tapping on the left-hand side on that slide, and I'm tapping on the word duplicate. And you see it's going to just copy it down for me. Now, here's how I'm going to turn these tabs. I'm going to select the first tab. And just so that it's easier, just so that I know I'm perfectly aligning everything, I'm going to use the blue dot on the left-hand side. So middle left, and I'm going to drag it all the way across until it comes out to the other side. So all I've done is I've basically extended my shape. Now I don't want the tab open on both sides, so I'm going to go on the right-hand side's little middle dot, and I'm going to drag that inwards. And you can drag it as much as you need it to be, it doesn't really matter. Okay, and that's how I've essentially created a turnable tab. Now, because like with some really cool digital planners, when you've turned the tab, it almost highlights it for you and shows you that you are on this particular tab. To show that highlighting effect, all I'm going to do is I'm going to tap on my paintbrush. I'm going to go to Style. I am going to go to Fill. And while I'm here on Color, you can see at the bottom of that, I've got two little dots. I'm just going to swipe once to the left. And here I get a little bit more editing power with this color. So I'm going to go to that bottom slider bar and I'm just going to make it a bit darker. And what that does is it essentially just almost highlights my tab for me. Okay, now really important to also add in at this stage is to make sure that you have titles, that you've got names given to all these tabs. Otherwise, you're not going to really know what it is that you're working with. To add in these titles, to add in these tags, I'm going to tap on the plus sign. I am going to go to the shapes menu and tap on text. Now, in this little text box, it's a very small little text box. I'm going to double tap so that I get my keyboard up. And I'm going to call this, like I said, I'm just going to name them sections. I'm going to call this section 1. Again, because it's your planner, because it's so customizable, you can go into your paintbrush and you can start changing the size of the text, the font of it, by tapping on the middle tab that says text. Now, here I can make it a bit bigger if I need to. I can choose the font, make it bold, make it italics, really up to me. Okay, so I've got this section 1. I'm keeping it simple, but if I drag this and I put it there, that's not really going to work. So what I need to do is I need to turn this. I need to rotate it. Now, to rotate your objects on Keynote on your iPad, you're going to take 2 fingers. I prefer using 2 on separate hands. You're going to hold down with 1 and turn it. You're actually going to turn this shape. So I am going to tap on inside this text box and I'm going to turn it. So I've literally tapped with 1 finger and I've rotated the other finger. So tap with 1 and hold it and then swing your other finger around. Okay, now here with the section, I can easily go and place it in my little tab, and I have that section 1 there for me. Okay, I'm very, very quickly going to do the same thing for the other sections. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to copy and paste because we're going to save a little bit of time here. I'm going to go copy. I'm going to tap anywhere and click paste. And I'm going to change section 1 to section 2. And then don't forget, you've got to resize. Oops, yeah, I went a bit too big there. You're going to resize this. Not resize, you're going to rotate it. So all I'm going to do is tap with 1 finger. If you need to zoom in so that this is easier, just pinch out with 2 fingers. I generally prefer doing that. Otherwise, sometimes I do struggle. So I'm going to, especially with the text that's smaller, and I'm going to rotate it. Okay. So I'm just zooming in and out so that it helps me a little bit, just helps me place things. And then I'm going to go copy this one, paste it, and I'm going to change those section numbers. Okay, so I've got section 2, section 3. I'm going to go paste again, get section 4 in. And last but not least, section 5. Okay, so I hope you're going with me that you've got, okay, with the 2 fingers rotation. I know it does get me every now and then as well. So my biggest suggestion on this one is the easiest way. bring it to the middle of your page. So bring any of these sections into the middle of your page so that it's not towards any other shape. Then zoom in as much as you can. So literally pinch in, so pinch out and zoom in as much as you can until it says maximum. Okay, you've then got it there. I'm going to try and lift this up and show you here. I've got one finger on the word section, just holding it there, and the other finger, I swing it around. So you can swing it both fingers at a time. You can turn them just to make it a bit easier for you. Okay, I hope that's going to help you a little bit. I know that the rotating does take some practice, but you definitely will get there. If you are using a MacBook, there is on the Arrange tab. So again, when you editing shapes on the Arrange tab, there's a little circle that you can actually rotate it. Unfortunately, that's not a feature on an iPad as yet. So we'll fingers crossed and hope for that. But for now, just keep on practicing with that turn. It will get there. Okay. Now, once I've created section 1, I essentially need to do this for every section that is to come. So section 2, 3, 4, 5. Now, like I said at the beginning, these digital planners are really amazing. They're really incredible, but it also takes some time for you to actually get this going. Once it's there, once it's started, once you have that template, you will have it always, which is something very, very incredible. It's not this repetition all the time. Okay. So just going through it very quickly, I'm going to tap on now the title copy essentially, and I'm going to duplicate it. It's going to come title copy 1. I'm now going to start with section 2. I'm going to move that name out. I'm going to swap that across essentially. Don't forget, you've got to change the color. So I'm going to go into style, go to full, swipe across, and look at that. Because I've created a new color that I've used, it saved it for me there at the bottom, which is incredible. I don't have to worry about, did I get the right color again? I'm just going to tap on that. Remember, your section 1 needs to go back to the original color. So I'm just going to move section 1, and I'm going to move this one back to the original color. Okay. And I'm going to just keep on shifting these around. Okay. I do need to zoom in every now and then to shift out these sections. Okay, now you can see it becomes a little bit easier. You're just going to go duplicate, move stuff around until everything is on the other side as well. Okay, I think I redid that size a little bit too much. There we go. You're also going to look out very carefully for your spacing, making sure that you don't miss up, and then essentially making sure that your tabs align on each side. I'm pressed a bit for time, so I'm going to just do this as quickly as I possibly can. But you can take your time with this. You can make sure that everything is as it should be. I did an oopsie there. Okay, so I've got section 2. I'm going to just change the color of section 3. There we go. Oh, and I have the rain. I hear the rain on my roof. Okay. I hope you're all going good there. If you've got any questions, please remember, pop them in the chat for me. I'm almost ready to move on and show you how you're going to link this all up so that you actually have turnable tabs and that it does what it needs to do. But yeah, shout in the chat box if there's anything that you need to know, if you missed anything, and we'll take it from there. Okay, so I'm almost done. I've got 2 more sections. Section 4, which I'm just rotating now. And changing the color of that shape. And then last one, I'm going to duplicate and change out section 5. Okay, now so far what you've been doing is you have been working on your master slides. So everything that you've been creating, everything that you've been doing here is going to be saved as a master slide, which means that when you head back into Keynote, you are going to actually be able, when you head into the slide view, essentially, you're going to be able to use these slides. And that's going to be a crucial step for you. So you can see very quickly, I've got the title slide with everything. I didn't need to write in anything as yet. I've got section 1, section 2, section 3, section 4, section 5. So those are my sections. I did miss that again. Glenn, we will keep some sessions that go up onto the iStore Meets YouTube channel. So just keep tuned in on that YouTube channel to see if these come up. There is going to be a repeat in February, which you can book for. I'll put that link up for you at the end. I do hope that helps. Okay. So yeah, Sharon, absolutely, we will run a repeat, and the YouTube channel is there. Okay. Once I'm done with these master slides, I am going to tap on the word done, and you will see automatically that first title slide, it came through, it changed that format for me. I'm not really interested in the title slide, so I'm going to delete, it's going to come up. I'm going to add in every other slide. So I'm going to go first with the section 1 on the left-hand side, and from here, I can now remove that first slide. I don't need the first one. I only need it from where section 1 is on the left-hand side. I'm then going to go and add in every single one of them. Okay, so I've added in each of these pages. I've got 5 pages. And now I need to start this linking process. Now, with the linking process, you actually need to have slides that you link it to. And once you've created this once, we're going to do it in our master slides so that every time I keep on adding on, it's going to just adjust those numbers easily for me. Okay, so one more time into my master slides. I've got my 5 slides available for me. I'm going to tap anywhere on the page or outside the page. I'm going to tap on Edit Master Slides. I'm now going to go and tap on section 1. And where I see that pop-up menu, it comes up and it says link. So I'm going to click on link, and I've got a couple of different options. I'm going to say link to slide and click on slide 1. Now, obviously section 1 for me is on slide 1, section 2 on slide 2, and so on and so on and so on. If you are going to be doing things like months of the year, it's best advice to write it down. So actually write January on a piece of paper, write January to December, and then write what page number they are going to, or which slide number they're going to link to. That way, as you're working this out, as you're planning it, it's going to make sure that you're getting to the right page, especially when you start having more and more tabs. Okay, so now I've got to go and do this for essentially all of it. I'm going to go and link slide or section 2 to section 2 or to page 2, and then 3 to slide 3, and oopsie, and so on and so on. Okay, so like I said to you, just keep it in mind as you're linking these, to just make sure if you're using months of the year, it's best to make sure that you write that down somewhere. And you've got to do this on all of them. So remember to just do this on all of them. Now, the reason you had to have slides is because you're actually linking it to a particular slide. The nice thing that comes in with Keynote, so I'm going to carry on, I'm going to talk this through as well. Feel free to stop me with a question if you have any. The nice thing with Keynote is, even although I have linked this to a particular slide, as I add in more slides, any of these slides, it is actually going to adjust that slide number. So that's something really cool. That one doesn't need to, there we go. Where you can just link it right at the beginning and not have to worry about anything later on. Okay, that's not selecting. There we go. I just want to select the word. Please just make sure that when you are doing the linking, that things like grouping objects haven't been done, because that does run into a little bit of problems. And as you can see, I'm actually linking the text that appears on top of the shape. You can link the shape, but sometimes it gets a bit finicky when you're trying to tap on it. Okay, I'm almost done here. I'm just going to link up everything as quickly as possible. And then we're going to look at how you can start using these planners. Okay, link to slide 3. I'm then on 4 and the last one on the side, and then on the last page. Okay, I see no more questions for me. I hope this is making sense. I hope that everybody is following along. Like I said, we do have a repeat of this session running in February. I will share where you can find out more about the exact date. There we go. Okay, so last one. Nope. Link to slide 3, and then link to slide 4, and link to slide 5. Okay, and once you're done here, you're just going to tap on done in the top corner. Now, what's really cool is when you're in Keynote, because you've done this on master slides, you'll see those little blue arrows that basically link, that show you that each thing is linked. Okay, now how can you actually work this? How can you add stuff to it? How can you do so without having to shift things and move things and make a mistake and things like that? Super simply, you can choose, like I said, because it's your digital planner, you can choose how many pages you want in a section, and you can just add those in. So I can literally go now and duplicate this page, and you'll see I now have 2 pages in section 1. You can duplicate it. I'm going to show you a couple of ideas on how to plan this so that you know exactly how many pages you need in each section. So for me, section 1 has 3 pages, section 2 has 1, 3 has 1, 4 has 1, and 5 has 1. Okay, once this is done, and if you followed along, if you went along with me, you're going to have a basic outline of your planner already. But once this is done, once you're happy, once you've got it all sorted, you're going to go to the top right corner, sorry. And you're going to click on those 3 dots with the circle around it. I'm now going to go to export, and I'm going to export this as a PDF. Okay. So here you're going to leave it as it pops up. It's just the slides that you want. You don't want any other presenter notes or anything to that effect. And you're going to click on export. So it's going to tell you it's going to export your digital planner. And now it comes up and it says share. Okay. Once it's done this, you can choose if you've got notes apps or things like that you'd like to open this in, you can choose to open it in there. If not, all iPads come with the Books app, and the Books app is incredible because you can open up PDFs and you can actually edit your PDFs. So I'm going to go and I'm going to open it up in Books. Okay. And when I go and open it up in Books, there it is. It's loading a little bit. Here we go. And there is my digital planner. So I've got everything. It starts off on section 1. If I just swipe once towards the left-hand side, I'm going to see there's page 2 of my planner. There's page 3 of section 1. I'm then going to go to section 2, and you can scroll and scroll and scroll, but that's not what we wanted. We wanted to be able to go from here, and I want to maybe just hop straight into section 4. So all I'm going to do is I'm not going to swipe through. I'm going to go and tap on the word section 4. And there it goes. It's loading a little bit. section 4 is up there for me. If I want to hop back to section 2, I'm going to tap on the word section 2. I'm tapping, I'm not swiping, and there I am in section 2. And this is going to work on either of the sides. You can do to section 4, section 5, and you see as you tap on it, it turns it for you. So the tab goes onto the other side, and you can now go and write in whatever it is you need. I'm going to go into section 2 very quickly, and I'm going to tap towards the top of my page. I didn't tap towards the top, right at the top. And here I get some of these headings, some of the things at the top. It tells me what it's named. I'm looking on the right-hand side. You've got the little pin in the circle. If I tap on that, I can now go, I got my markup toolbar. So I've got my little pen, I've got a highlighter, a pencil, an eraser. I've even got a ruler. I've got different colors. I've got the plus sign that lets me add in text or a signature or a little bit of basic shapes. And all I can do is I can tap on that pencil, choose the thickness, choose the opacity, and I can go in notes and say, to do, oopsie, that's supposed to be a do list. My hand was writing faster than I was thinking. So I can do this in books. I can go back to section 1 and I can say planning. Now, if you have an Apple Pencil, you don't even have to, just by tapping on your screen with your pencil, it's going to pop up. I can go to section 5 and I can say something like adventures, something that I want to do. Again, by tapping on that little pencil in the top corner, I can change the color. I can add in little bubbles. I can go and add in different colors. So you can use this planner now as you need to, as you want it to be. So I did say right at the beginning, or throughout this this presentation, that I'll share with you some ideas. There we go. I just want to go back into that presentation quickly. You can see Keynote versatile for almost anything. And I just want to give you some ideas before I head into any questions that you do have for me. So you can see some planning ideas that come that you do have access to is doing something like your goals. So you can design your pages with different templates. So it's not just a blank page. We looked at creating these tabs today and how those tabs are going to work and how you're going to turn them. But you can go, like I had section 1 with 3 different pages. You can do section 1 or January with a weekly planner so that you have these blocks in place that you use. I mean, you can see this one, and these are all digital planners, by the way. If you notice, I know they look fun and creative, but take a closer look. They're all on iPads. You can see this one has January. They've done small, very small tabs, and they've done all the months on the one side. This particular one, you've got tabs at the top, tabs coming along the bottom. You can overlap your tabs. We didn't overlap tabs, but you can overlap them using those shadows. We did a lot of shading and shadows with our pages. You can do things like that. Here you can see they've got little spaces to do, like to-do list, and then little notes. Second last one I want to show you here, they've got little blocks that you can add in so you can write in what it is you need to do for the week. The most important thing that it comes down to is it's your planner. It's customizable to whatever it is that you need it to do. So I hope you learned a little bit about how you can create these plans. I hope you've enjoyed it and that you can take away from it a little bit. I'm going to open up to some questions. I see a lot of questions about recordings on this. Stay tuned on that iStore Meets on the iStore YouTube page. So if you go to YouTube and look for iStore, have a look. It does take a while for these recordings to come up. We do have a repeat of this session towards the end of February. If you are interested in joining again, You can visit the iStore website. I'll put that up for you in a moment. Any questions, take some time to put them in the chat while you're typing those out. Just going to share with you some exciting things that I mentioned at the beginning. We have some incredible sessions still coming up this month. The 28th of Jan, that's 2 days from now, we have our introduction to new accessibility features on iPad OS 14. Incredible sessions to see what accessibility features can actually be used in the classroom. Saturday mornings, we have Kids Can Code. So check out our Saturday morning sessions if you've got any kids that you'd like them to join for our coding session. If you're not already a part of Think Ahead's Couch to Class group, I do encourage you to go and join that Facebook group. We have such amazing advice and articles and members that share some incredible tips for really learning and teaching anytime and anywhere. I did mention at the beginning that we do have some incredible iPad offers for parents and for teachers. You can find out more by scanning that QR code or by emailing parents@thinkahead.co.za. All of these offers are on that Couch to Class group of ours. So if you're not a member, I do encourage you to join that. For schools and for educational institutes, we also have some amazing iPad bundles available to you. Okay, and you can contact us to find out about any of these offerings. So that's my last one. If you'd like to know anything about Think Ahead, about any of our offers, you can contact us at inquiries@thinkahead.co.za or visit our website. That's www.thinkahead.co.za. For more workshops, to book for any of them or to see upcoming sessions, February is going to be an incredible month for iStore meets and our sessions. You can visit the iStore website. That's istore.co.za/meets. I want to thank you for taking the time and joining me today. I really hope you've enjoyed the session and learned a little bit about making digital planners. Go have fun, go create, share with us on our Facebook pages. I'd love to see some of your amazing creations. So thank you everybody for joining me and have a wonderful afternoon. Bye everybody.